Look at that. That's something else, my friends. That is something else. So here we have our first box that we're going to dub as definitely being authentic, especially because I saw the other cigars that just came out, which we'll look at them soon. But definitely authentic. What's our discrepancies? 2. Hologram missing. Very strange. I don't know why. I'll email and tell you what they say. 2. The latch does not say Schmale Germany. It's blank. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to show you before we wrap it up. A little bit of information. Number 1, it looks like I made a mistake as far as the discontinuation goes of the La Glorias. If you look at the website here, you can see that it says VBN 10 discontinued circa 2003. Basically, that means the 10 box, the varnished box of 10 was discontinued 2003, not the boxes of 25. Now, it just says pre-1960 release current for the V898 box 25. That's what we have. There might have been a period, say 2003 to 2005, 2005 to 2007, whatever, that they were discontinued for a few years. And he just doesn't have that information on here because now they're reinstated, so he doesn't have every discontinuation period for every cigar, just the permanent ones. So they probably were unavailable for a while, or maybe just that hard to get. I believe they were unavailable for a while. Anyway, that's that story. A few other things. If we look at this, here's a Medaille D'Ors box, okay? And that's a box of number 3s from 1970, okay? Looks exactly the same as the box we just looked at. If you look at this, here's a box of Medaille D'Ors number 1s, 1970. Exactly the same thing, okay? Number 4s, the ones we actually have from 1970s. Exactly the same. My point on that is, remember the guy I was talking about who was trying to sell me a box of aged 1988 Glorias with no box date? How in the world am I going to tell that they're from 1988? The boxes are the same for 40 years. They're probably the same before this. They never changed, okay? So, beside our little missing hologram, which I will get an email and update you on that, and beside the non-Schmale latch, I don't see any other problem with these cigars. I think they're 100% genuine. These are just things that happen on the gray market. All right. One last thing, the bands. On the right, you have your new band for special releases, and on the left here, our band. And if you look closely at it, you may be able to even tell the metals aren't embossed that well. The lines are visible through the metals. You can even see a little yellow paint under the Havana. The Havana looks like somebody drew it with a crayon. It's a very funky band, all right? This band hasn't changed for, obviously, okay, we know for a fact 1970s, probably even before that, 70s, 80s, 90s, for 40-something years this band hasn't changed, okay? I think that's rather cool. When everybody else is out there putting all these new bands on the cigars and everything looks so pristine, these have a nice rustic look to them. And you know what? Having that original older band makes it even harder for the counterfeiters to copy it. It really does. Because they're set up to, you know, I think it does. I think it does. Because you're going to have these lines that are, one thing I like, one thing I notice, let's see, a couple of the red lines are actually coming outside the red border here, which is common on the band, so don't freak out. And the last lines on the band are not perfectly parallel to the gold outline. They're kind of off. Okay? So, again, Gloria Cubana, funky brand, funky band, one of the oldest brands in existence today, that's still in existence today, a pre-revolution brand that made it all the way to 2012 and will probably be kicking for another God knows how many years, but one of my favorites, and I just wish they came out with something a little stronger, you know, but when you have a brand that's the same for so many years, it's kind of, that's what they're known for, you know what I mean? The Cuba Delicioso is supposed to be a little bit stronger, the Triunfo, some of the special ones, the English Gloriosos that I showed you before. So, without wasting any time, I think we're done with these Glorias. I think we can safely say that cigarsofcuba.com, cigars-of-cuba.com is 100% authentic. We have something else from them to show you next time. A quick word, and let's just wrap this up. Well, friends, that's it for this episode of Fake or Fine. Our determination is cigarsofcuba.com and cigar1.com are two very reputable, very valued retailers that we can trust and order from at any time. I will be placing more orders, and like I said, I'll find out about that hologram, but God knows, man. You know what? After a while, you start getting into it to the point where it's the cigar that tells you the truth, not the packaging. Packaging is all over the place. Cuban quality control. There is a limit to what's real and what's not. There's a limit to how bad the packaging can be. But we had several checkpoints, many more checkpoints than not, that passed straight through. The only things I didn't like were hologram and no Schmale Germany latch, just a regular latch. You may also be thinking, hey, what about the Havana sticker? Well, remember, this box is a year older, and for a long, long time, they never even placed a sticker on this box. I would wonder more about this than this, because the Havana stickers are on the outside. Older version, too. Alright. No, 2010. Shouldn't be the older version. Okay, so, with no further ado, we're going to close up this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. These are two wonderful cigars I highly recommend. I will be smoking them, reviewing them, taking pictures, so check out the website, DrJoeShow.com. And, just to let you know, this is what was in our box when I opened the number 4s and kind of pushed it out of the way. If you know what these are, and you know what we've been doing with cigar collectibles, you probably know what's coming up next. Stay tuned. Keep coming back. I want your support, need your support, your visits, subscribe. You know, be a guy. Be a cigar smoker. You know how we are. Come on. Chill. Relax. Watch the Dr. Joe Show. Guaranteed you'll learn something. At the very least, I'll pass your time while we smoke a butt. Whatever. So, with no further ado, Dr. Joe, you guys are great. Keep on coming. Oh, and of course, if you were here, I would certainly offer you one of these absolutely divine like Gloria's, but you're not. So, I'll have to smoke one for you, and I'll do it. Dr. Joe, DrJoeShow.com. Keep coming back.